Glucosa plays. Elite fucking dangerous. Today's episode. Whoops, there goes my trousers.
Hello, so we're on to mining and also Squadrons. Now let's cover the mining first, because let's face it, that's the main thing that people wanted to see when it came to this update. Yeah, it certainly was. Now, when Frontier Developments did their live stream showing the new mining tools and everything else, they knew exactly what they were doing, even if whoever the cunt is who plays the game in those live streams clearly doesn't know what he's doing as far as actually playing the game. It has been a long time since I saw anybody play this game as shitty as he does. I think it was the last time I watched a Daddy 07 video. Oh, what a cunt. But yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing. So they got all the boring guff that's in Beta 2 all out of the way first. And they ended it with, you know, the big visual effect. And of course, the reaction to it from the Elite Dangerous community was exactly the one that they knew was coming, which was basically that everyone watching it all went, "Cool, big rock blow up." And if you look at the comments on that live stream, or worse, if you look through the replay of the live chat that was going on during it, or worse, you go and have a look on the forums and you go back to the date when that was shown, all the comments consisted of, well, however they worded it, it all said the same thing: "Cool, big rock blow up." And that was all they cared about, nothing else. And so it became, "Me want like big rock blow up," and that was it. That was the reaction from the Elite Dangerous community. And of course, Frontier Developments knew that was going to be the reaction, because they now know the mentality of the vast majority of the vocal Elite Dangerous community. So they know it doesn't matter how shit anything else in the game is, as long as, you know, these vocal lot get to see big rock blow up, then they're happy. And they will say that everything's fucking fantastic, and indeed that is what they have been saying. You know, I mean, yeah, when big rock blow up happens, yeah, it does look impressive. But impressive visuals do not a good game make. There has to be more to it. Unfortunately, that is something that has long since been lost in gaming. It's got to be something, it's got to be getting on 10 years now. So, you know, it's a faint hope that, you know, impressive visuals actually get married to impressive gameplay as well. It does still happen occasionally, but it is very rare. Anyway, as far as mining goes, you now have an awful lot of equipment to take with you. But I'll start with some good news. All of the new mining equipment is completely optional. You do not have to take any of it. You don't have to use any of it. If you've mined before and you just want to stick with using, you know, a mining laser or a couple of mining lasers, go right ahead. You do not need any of the new parts, which is quite handy. So if we go to outfitting, as you can see, we are in the Type 9, which is my dedicated mining ship, and we go to the hardpoints, and I have all three of the new mining, I guess, weapons. Obviously the beam laser here is not one of them. Well, we'll start with the one that you're most likely to use, which is this one, the Abrasion Blaster. This is available in Class 1 and 2, I think. The Subsurface Displacement Missile. This again, I think, is available in Class 1 and 2. They may even be 3 and 4 class versions, I don't know. And my Type 9 only has up to Class 2. And then the Seismic Charge Launcher. Now this thing, there is not a Class 1 version available for this. That's fine. I'll come to the you know, the drawbacks and the positives as far as like the Class 1 versions here. There is certainly a drawback with the Subsurface Displacement Missile, but I don't know if the Class 2 version makes up for it. If it does, I may have to lose my beam laser, so my Type 9 will be utterly defenceless. Okay, so that's the new hardpoints here, and then in the utility mounts there is a new item here as well. The Pulse Wave Analyzer. And there's also one of those, but I haven't got one of them fitted to my ship. Now, let's just say that I have a slight difference of opinion with Frontier Developments when it comes to the usefulness of this item. And if all goes according to plan, I will be able to show you precisely why. There are no other changes as far as new equipment goes, but there is a change in the optional internals. You'll notice I still have my detailed surface scanner, but I do not have a discovery scanner. That is because the discovery scanner has now been removed as far as a purchasable piece of equipment. All ships are now fitted with it internally. So as far as I think the vast majority of players and the vast majority of the ships that those players own, you're going to find yourself with a free cargo rack, and of course the credits that you spent buying the discovery scanner will be refunded to you. So yeah, that took me a bit by surprise, and it meant that I haven't got a clue what I was going to put in the spare cargo rack, spare cargo, in the spare optional internal. So yeah, I stuck in a cargo rack because yeah, having 256, I'm doing well tonight, capacity cargo racks, yeah, that wasn't enough. So I stuck in another 8. I don't know why, but like I say, I couldn't really think of anything else. So, right, let's get some mining underway. So I'm in HIP 16607. This is the system where my Type 9 mining ship is normally based. So we're going to head to the first planet, which is a gas giant. But we're going to make a bit of a...
Ship is released. Regulate your speed until free of station perimeter.
Oops. Just hit someone.
Fly carefully, Commander. Fines will be issued for reckless maneuvers.
It's just cunt underneath me. Making type 6.
Frame shift charge detected.
I did not mean to do what I was doing there, trying to leave here at full speed. Mind you, full speed in a Type 9 is a very relative concept. Okay, so HIP 16607-1 is actually further away than it may look here.
Frameshift drive charging.
Because this planet that's dead ahead, not the one that's but switch mode to analysis mode. When you're doing mining, it's all done in analysis mode. Now I'll show you this here because I've already done this around the planet that we're going to, so there's no point in well, I can't show you there. When you arrive at the particular ring system that you're going to check out, it's saying out of range. Maybe if I select. Okay, so I can do the old discovery scanning if I want to of the planet. Incidentally, they've changed where this setting is to be able to move this around. It is now located under detailed surface scanner, so if like me you'd already got it set up under the multi-crew, you've got to set it up again, but this time under discovery scanner. Anyway, I can scan the planet, but we don't need to do that. We don't really want to do that, except I've now fucking launched it, so it's going to do it anyway. Being a gas giant and being so large, it takes a lot more probes to scan it. Anyway, we don't want to scan the planet, we want to scan the rings. So you pull out until you see ring highlighted there. Oh, fuck off. What do you mean that's the shit one with a big haul? I'm not carrying anything. So we scan the rings, and we get some highlights cropping up. And if we come out of here, it'll show you, okay, bauxite hotspot, that's what they are. Fucking hell. I ain't carrying fuck all. What ship is this? Fucking Diamondback Scout. Right, well, bearing in mind that I've got really crappy shields and I've only got one B-blade, so I'm just going to fucking run. I'm not carrying anything, am I? Oh yeah, I forgot to sell everything that I got last time I went mining.
Frameshift drive charging.
Alright, so we'll fuck off. I think we're now nowhere near where I was. If we go back to analysis mode, so the hotspots are still there. So yeah, if you are looking for good spots to check out, for fuck's sake, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. It's only a beta, so I'm just going to fucking jettison everything I've got, so that then I don't have to put up with this shit all the time. Right, so now I'm just carrying limpets, which are worthless. But as it is, in this example, yes, as I was saying, in this example, the ship, the rings have only got bauxite hotspots, which aren't worth bugger all. So let's go on to 16607 Planet 1, which is where I do all my usual mining. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a jump cut here so that, because I'm going to head back to the station because this cunt's just pissing me off. Right. So we try that again. He interdicted me twice more. Both times he fired a couple of missiles and then ran off because I didn't have anything. But then as soon as I went back into Super Cruise, he would come after me again. So anyway, hopefully all this bollocks has been over. Yeah, he's buggered off. So anyway, so I showed how to do the old scanning the rings, finding the hotspots. And those two hotspots around the nearest planet here, which is Planet 2, obviously didn't yield very much. Two bauxite hotspots, big fucking deal.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
So we'll head to the actual destination now, the planet that we are actually going to be mining around. Yeah, that glitch is still there. Analysis mode again, so we need to be in analysis mode for pretty much the whole time we're mining, and you'll see that I've already scanned both rings around this planet. So what I'm going to do, if we take a look, so you can target, so bauxite, indite, bertrandite, samarium, coltan, praseodymium, hotspots all around there. What I'm going to do is ignore them all. Because, okay, it may be that if you are particularly keen to get whatever metal or mineral that you find in these hotspots, if you are particularly after those, great. They may well be there, but I have found that it makes no fucking difference at all whether you go to a hotspot or somewhere that's nothing came up from the scan. So here we go. Right, so we'll deploy the old and what we need to use now is the pulse wave. So using the pulse wave, it scans the asteroids ahead of you, and what it should do is highlight which ones has some valuable stuff. It looks very dusty around here, and I have a feeling I know why. There's a planet there. There's another ship in the area, and I think that is a mining ship. Let's have a look. Oh, it's a fucking federal dropship. It's going to be wanted in it, yeah. Well, I've got absolutely fuck all on me, so yeah, he's not going to be interested in me. So let's do the old pulse wave again. Right, and now we've got some highlighted ones here. And the brighter the highlights, the more material is found within them. So let's get a bit closer then to this one that was coming up pretty bright. I'm cutting this a little bit fine. Oh no, we're okay. Right, so let's send out the prospector. See what's here.
Engaged.
So it's doing a bit of a scan. Now if you look there, platinum and praseodymium, so for once it's actually come out pretty good. Now, if you're looking contacts, you'll see that indite there, utterly worthless, but for the sake of this demonstration I'll mine them. And that icon means that these are on the surface. So to get to these, we need to use the abrasion blaster. The good thing is that this thing does not have a limited amount of ammo. Basically got unlimited ammo with this fucker. I'll also point out that all the other times I've tried this mining, I'll say all the others twice, I've not encountered a single enemy ship. Now I'm doing this fucking video, they're all over the place. Anyway, so we fire the abrasion blaster and keep missing. There we go, and it's broken away. So if I get my collectors up and running, they will go and pick that up. And that chunk is larger than if I had used the mining laser. I think they felt obliged to do that because they realised that using the mining laser, you know, the previous way, we didn't need. Oh, okay, I can't take that because fuck it, it will bend it. Yeah, it was just quicker. Let's try and squeeze in between these two. That fucking Fed dropship or whatever it was, he's not going away. Where's the indite? Still on the other fucking side of the asteroid.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Alright, that should be
Cargo scoop
us.
deployed.
Right, there it is. So we try blasting away at that. If, like me, you have had next to no practice with fixed weapons, then yeah, you need to get some practice in with the aim. So there we go, I've used the abrasion blaster to pick up 2 lots of indite core, because indite's really useful. Whereas if I just used the vent this. If I just use the mining laser as normal, I will be getting platinum and praseodymium. So yeah, I'd rather use the new equipment and get a load of fucking. Let's bring out a few more collectors. Yeah, use the new abrasion blaster and everything to pick up indite. And I could just be using the same old indite again. Use the same old fucking. This is going to annoy me now. Not interested in getting a fucking indite. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do. Add indite to ignore list. Oh, there we go. So yeah, just using the old mining laser as before. I'm getting a lot more valuable stuff and a lot quicker. And the thing is, this doesn't change. No matter what you do, it's quicker to just use the mining laser. So not only is it a good thing that all the extra stuff is entirely optional, but it does seem to be almost pointless. Right, so that's everything. Let's see what else we can find. Now, some ones showing up there that's valuable. Yep. Whereas these ones here that are right in front of us, these were showing up as, well, weren't even registering. So you think, oh, they must be absolutely fuck all there. Well, let's take a look. Let's fire prospector at this one, which came up completely blank as far as the pulse wave was concerned. So it's not got much, and it's probably not very valuable. But it's got silver. 44.79. Silver's not exactly worthless. Certainly worth a damn sight more than fucking indite. Let's try this one. Didn't this come up blank as well? Yeah, absolutely fuck all on the pulse wave. Let's send Olympic to this one then. See what's on here. Rather a lot further away than I thought it would be, but there we go. Oh, so this one does have fuck all. Bertrandite, indite, yeah, not interested. Let's move a bit quicker then. These ones did come up as having a decent amount of stuff in them. So let's see just how decent they are.
Cargo scoop deployed. Programming limpet drone.
What's in you?
Prospector limpet failed.
I've only got D-rated prospectors, that's why they all keep failing.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad. Right, now what's it found? Right, these are below the surface, subsurface deposits. So to get these, we need to use the displacement missile. Now, the big issue with the displacement missile, well actually there's two, but it is really difficult to aim them. You need to get quite close. And the other thing is, you do not have much in the way of ammo. You've only got 17. I think that's far too low. They need to put more ammo in. Because as you're about to see, you go through ammo on this thing at quite a rate. So when you launch it, you need to hold down the fire button. There you go. So deploying drill, and then you release it when the line is on a blue region, and that tells you that you will eject some of the material there. So we'll try it again, because there is still some left, otherwise I wouldn't be able to still target it. Right, so hold down trigger and release to detonate there. And there's another one. And there is still material in this subsurface deposit. So let's try another. There we go. Now, is that the last piece, or is there any more there? Looks like there's still more. Well, it said that there's still more there, but the blue line never appeared. In fact, now it's gone. Right. Now this one is around the other side, so let's move around. Actually, I think, right, it's there in front of us. So let's try this one. There we go. So keep it held down. There we go. Easy to get that one. So that's that one piece done. Any more? Looks like it. Now again, you get more per fragment this way than using the mining laser. So it applies the same as with the abrasion blaster that we were using before. It looks like again it's still oh, there we go, right at the very end. But that's got to be it. There can't be any more there now. Yeah, so that's gone. Now that gives the impression that this asteroid is now depleted, but of course you can still use the mining laser and mine away at the praseodymium, platinum, silver that's on the surface here. So just because all those you know, deposits that are surface or just below the surface have gone doesn't mean that there's nothing left for this asteroid to get. So it's not a good idea to, you know, take all of the new mining equipment and leave the mining laser behind. I suppose ideally you want to take all of it. So we will drain this one with 5 collector limpets on the run, on the move. This shouldn't take long. I don't even know why I am taking it all, because it's only the beta, so it's not like I'm going to get anything for this. So what have I picked up so far? 8 platinum, 4 praseodymium. I've had worse mining trips.
Collector limpet expired.
Does that mean they're running out? It could be.
limpet drone.
Right, looks like that is everything there. Yes, it's just an iron material fragment that's left. Right, there we go. Now that asteroid is well and truly finished. So let's have another look and see what else is around. Well, there's a few there, but this one that I got in front of me was completely ignored.
Retracted.
Which suggests there's bugger all in this one. Well, let's take a look.
Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet failed. Prospector limpet engaged.
Praseodymium, gold and samarium. That is not worthless. But the pulse wave just blanked it, ignored it. Why? So it does rather suggest that the pulse wave either isn't working properly or it's useless. The only thing I can think of is that the pulse wave only shows you asteroids that would allow you or require the use of, you know, the 3 new pieces of equipment. Because yeah, there was certainly nothing wrong with that one that I shoved the prospector on. Okay, let's go and take a look at this one. This one looks like it's a fair size, so there might be something worthwhile here.
Collector limpet expired.
Okay, so all the collector limpets, yeah, they're all on the way out. Apart from that one that
Cargo scoop deployed.
yeah, this one's showing us as being pretty good, so right, let's see what's here.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Samarium, they're surface deposits, so it's not brilliant. And these abrasion blasters these are probably the most awkward things of the 3 new mining equipment. These are probably the most awkward to use. So I've got to wait for it to come into view. And I'm out of range. Not even close. Yeah. The other thing that I find with them is you really do need to
Cargo scoop retracted.
get your positioning pretty much spot on with them. Otherwise it really is a pain in the arse. Right, what have we got here? This one in the distance doesn't seem too bad. Okay, we'll have a look at this one.
Cargo scoop deployed.
That's closer than I thought I'd be. Right. Shouldn't take him long to get there. It's taking him longer than I fucking thought.
Prospector limpet engaged.
And after all that, there's one samarium subsurface deposit, and that's it. And yet this one got highlighted. But the one that contained gold, praseodymium and silver was ignored. And there's no point me mining that fucking thing. It's absolutely fucking worthless. Alright, not worthless, but it's not worth putting in the time for that one. So this one here is supposed to be pretty good. Slow down, you fucker.
Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet engaged.
This hasn't found much either. Osmium and samarium, all underground, right? Well, subsurface. So we get the old displacement missile again. So again, you hold it down when you launch it. There you go. Keep it held down, and then release when the white line is over the blue section. There we go. That's that bit got. Is there any more there? Looks like yes. So we'll do that again. Oh dear, if there is any more, it's right at the end. There we go. And that should be that one cleared. Well, it hasn't gone yet, but I mean there's no way there's going to be any more there. So that osmium one is right on the horizon. So is that. Okay, let's try getting a bit closer. And swinging around it. I know there's an asteroid quite close to me here. I say asteroid, I mean they're not really asteroids, are they? Right, so again, fire, hold it down, and release when the white line is over the blue section. So it's fairly straightforward. The difficult part is mastering the aim, but if you get yourself into position, or in the case of this asteroid, you get one that's barely moving, that's pretty easy. .3% left here, so there's probably one more. So we'll have one more go. Oh dear, it's right at the very end then, by the looks of it. No, there wasn't one there at all. But yeah, it's now showing 0. Right, that never happened until I started doing this video. And now it's happened twice. That is irritating, shall we say. Right, so I'm now basically looking for a suitable asteroid to show the last new item. It's probably going to take fucking ages before I do find one. this one is supposed to be pretty good. In fact, the one above it is supposed to be even better. So,
Cargo scoop deployed. Programming limpet drone.
let's take a look.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Ah, this looks like, yep. Right. So we got a lot here. Indite, no, not fussed about that, but samarium, gold, samarium, they are all on the surface. So they all need the abrasion blaster. But we also have all of these asteroid fissures. And it's for those we need the seismic chargers. So, with these, it's easier if we just wait for them to swing round. So here's one, average strength. Now you have to hold down and charge the seismic charge. You can see there are 3 dashes underneath where it says seismic charge on the HUD. You need either low, average or high strength. So the low, just leave it. Basically you can fire and then let go. Medium is the most awkward one to set because you've got to have it in the second bar, and the high charge you can just fire and hold it down and max it out. So this is a low strength one. So you do need to get the aim right. So let's try this one.
Expired.
That's amazingly fitted. Now you can see the destination sequence has started. We have 113 seconds and counting. Those bars are showing in the yellow, so I haven't fitted enough. So let's fire this one. This is an average. And that's fucking impacted on the side and missed. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, I'm doing well here. Fuck that one. Right, this is a high strength one. Yeah, I'm doing good with the aim here. There you go, right. Now this one is another high strength. See that the damage bars there are still in the yellow, so I still haven't done enough. I've got to do quite a few here. This is an average. That's fine. We're getting close now to the what's this one here? Average. Right, let's try this one. I keep fucking missing. There we go, finally on there. Now we're starting to get into the blue. It's not very good though, so we'll add another one. Right, now we're well into the blue.
Detonation in 10 seconds.
Right, this should be fine. This should yield a decent amount of stuff. That was a bit too close. But there we go. Big rock go bang. And that was what the community saw. Now we got a few bits all floating around, samarium and gold. So let's get our Olympic drones out there to pick them up. Now the thing is, because the Olympic drones are basically brain dead, I mean they are, you know, the John Gages of the Elite Dangerous universe, there is a very strong risk that the fragments of asteroid that we've blown apart, they're all going to just keep flying into it all the time and then smashing themselves on it. But as well as picking up all of those pieces here, so you can see the fragments here, we've now also created a load of new surface fragments, which we can then destroy or break off with the abrasion blaster, but we have to be in range. Firing at this one from virtually right in front of it, it's not doing helpful. Oh, bollocks to that one. Right, what's this one? Okay, let's try this. Yeah, so that one broke off fine. Let's try this one. Yeah, that one broke off first time as well. Yeah, I have a feeling this dust that we're seeing all over the place, or that was here before anyway, was because somebody else had already blown up an asteroid in this area, because it's not usually this dusty until an asteroid's been broken apart. And that is mining. That's the new mining tools. Like I say, the good thing about them is that they are all optional. If you want to just stick with, you know, mining with the mining laser, you can do just that. And like I say, until you've got used to the aim with things like the abrasion blaster and the displacement missile, and with the seismic charge for that matter, it can be a bit annoying. And then there's the matter of the pulse wave being pretty useless, and also the scanning of the rings also being pretty useless. I mean, I didn't go to a hotspot, but I picked up osmium, platinum, gold, praseodymium, samarium. Okay, I didn't get painite, but I have done without going to a hotspot. So those hotspots seem a bit pointless as well. But no one in the community who was watching the live stream was interested in any of that. They were just interested in Big Rock go bang. We won't make Big Rock go bang. And that was it. And like I say, that's exactly the reaction that Frontier Developments wanted. And let's be honest, that's the reaction they knew they were going to get. They know their target audience now. Brain dead fucking brown nosed shysters who just see Big Rock go bang and they're happy. I mean, when I first saw it, I thought, oh fuck, you know, it looks even more convoluted than the new scanning, you know, system scanning. I even said so at the end of the first video for the beta here. In fact, it turns out it's not as bad as that at all. So, you know, I'm quite okay with that. I'm not likely to do mining very often. I mean, it's not like I did it a hell of a lot in the first place, despite the fact that I had a dedicated mining ship. There is also, of course, the issue where you now need to take so much equipment with you if you plan on using all of the tools that really you will want a dedicated mining ship. And I suppose if you've been playing the game as long as I have now, you've probably easily got enough to do that. You know, if you've racked up over 20 hours and you haven't been able to get that, you know, get enough credits to get, you know, dedicated ships for each job. I mean, if I've been able to do it, then fucking anyone can. But yeah, if you don't have a dedicated mining ship, and also of course bear in mind that if you want to use all of the mining tools, you're going to need a ship with a hefty amount of hard points. You know, if you want to use them all, you need at least, well, you need 4 just for them, but then your ship will be totally defenseless. So yeah, that is something to keep in mind. But that's mining anyway, so make of it what you will. I don't think it's as awful as I thought it would be, but that's about all I can really say about it. It may be visually impressive when you blow up an asteroid, but I've done it 3 times now and the novelty's already worn off. But then I wasn't one of these people saying "big rock go bang" when I saw it on the live stream video.
Lincoln, Lima, uniform, Kilo. Good to see you, Commander. Throttle down and commence with docking. Approval granted. Set course for landing pad 39.
So once we've landed, we'll have a look at Squadrons. Now on the surface,
2,000 meters from touchdown.
on the surface, I really don't see much point in them, but then I'm not one of these players who, you know, plays alongside other players very often. Somehow I doubt that Squadrons was aimed at me, but then I very much doubt anything in Elite Dangerous is aimed at me. Restocking all of your stuff, it costs something in the region of I can't remember if it was 10,000 or 13,000 if you exhaust all of your mining ammo, so it's not terrible. I mean, if you can't make 13,000 on a mining trip, then you're really going wrong somewhere. So there you go. There's 10,000 made just on 1 ton of gold, so and then 10,000 with 1 ton of osmium. So there you go. I'm now in profit. $424,000 made from just 10 platinum. How many of those did I get? 6. I think that's everything. Yeah, all I have left now are limpets. Okay, Squadrons. So once you've selected the Squadrons option, you get this. So you can either create your own squadron. At the moment it costs 1 million. When this goes live, that will be 10 million. Now that's fine, I'm quite okay with paying 10 million. In fact, I am actually considering starting a squadron. Now it depends on if I get much in the way of interest. So if you are interested in joining a squadron that I have formed, let me know in the comments. It's not often that I ask to you know, have people letting me know that they want to do something in the comments of a video, but this is one of those times. Now there are some caveats, of course. My squadron, the fact that it's started by me should tell you it is not going to take it seriously. It is for people who do no PvP, who do no roleplay, who have no interest in basically helping anyone other than themselves. You know, it's basically just going to be a name. There will almost certainly never be any occasions where, you know, somebody in the squadron is going to find somebody else within the squadron and say to them, right, you need to come here and do bloody fucking blah. You know, it's basically just going to be a loose collection of people who play the game on their own, but for whatever reason decide that they just want to be part of a squadron that is quite happy to do absolutely bugger all. Unless you're bored and particularly feel like doing it, then there's going to be no sort of compulsion to help out a faction. I'll tell you now that the superpower will be the Empire, but there will be no like power play thing. There might be an allied faction, a minor one. I say might be, but I doubt it. In fact, if we go to description tags, so if I'm going to set one up, I will highlight the stuff that we'll be doing. So we won't be specific anti-Xeno activists. That doesn't mean that if you want to go out and kill Thargoids, then you're not part of the group. You know, if you want to kill Thargoids, go ahead. But knew that was coming. Bounty hunters, explorers, traders and miners, yep, they will be highlighted. Pirates will not. Power supporters certainly won't, but again, if you do power play, you know, if you're one of the 3 people in the game who still does, then yep, you can do that. Availability, well, I have all 3 of those, but let's just show you what so just because I haven't highlighted any of those doesn't mean you can't do them. Attitude, relaxed. If you are the sort of player who would consider themselves devoted, then this is definitely not the one for you. Playstyle is PvE. If you're PvP, no, this isn't for you. If you're roleplay, this isn't for you, unless you've got a thick skin and can stomach people taking the piss out of you for it. Game mode will be all 3. Languages will be English, but you know, I'm not saying only English speakers. Power play characters, yeah, I mean, I won't have any of those highlighted, but if you really want to you know, do power play, then yeah, go ahead. Just don't expect anyone else in the group to be doing it. And then there's things like squadron name. Now, of course, the obvious squadron name would be something like Lucosa's Cunts, but somehow I doubt Frontier Development will let me choose that name. Now, the squadron ID, I think that's limited to 4 characters, in which case it's likely to be LRCS. So it'll be the first and last letter of the proper name. We'll, you know, I mean, we are going to be Lucosa's Cunts, but obviously won't be able to put that in for the squadron name. But LRCS, Lucosa Cunts, you know. So that's where that will come along. Anyway, so if you don't want to start up a squadron, if you don't have 10 million credits to waste, you can browse the squadrons that are already available, and yeah, there's quite a few. So it will select, like, you know, a random tag for this middle one here, and I think, yeah, also this one here. The top one will always show newest squadrons. And if you select, you know, view new or view more, I think this goes through all of them. So, no, it surely doesn't go through every single one. I'm sure there's more than 12 pages of squadrons set up on the beta as it is. The overwhelming majority of squadrons have language English members 1. Yeah. The chances are that'll be the same with the one I start. Couple of other caveats. If you're already in a group, then that's fine, unless you are in a group where it means your commander name has, for example, your name, then brackets, and then, you know, some sort of tag or whatever after it. If you are the kind of person who thinks that's great, then no, don't bother, because I think that is just absolutely fucking cuntish. I despise it, because that says to me that that group who makes people put the group name in their you know, username in the game are such a bunch of fucking nobodies that they have to have their name plastered everywhere, otherwise everyone would instantly forget who the fuck they are. And yet they want to be known. Now, I don't give a shit if I'm known or not. I'll you know, say it's a squadron of nobodies, and we're not going to be doing fuck all anything anyway. So, you know, the whole idea of Lucosa's Cunts Squadron will be that we don't do fuck all for no one. Yeah. That's about it. Oh yeah, and also if you are a player who, there was a couple of squadrons I saw that had examples of it. Where the fuck has they gone? God, I know you're around here somewhere. Here we are. Right. If you are the sort of person who uses numbers in places of letters, then yeah, fuck off. Yeah, not in mine. And once you have actually, you know, created a squadron or joined a squadron, it's basically like a permanent wing. You don't have to constantly keep getting invited. You're always, you know, you'll always be a part of that squadron until you either choose to leave it or you get kicked out. I mean, there are ranks within Squadron, there's like 5 ranks. The person who founded it always has the top rank, and whatever rank you are, you can change the rank of anyone who is currently the rank below you, but you can't change their rank to one that is above you. I'm not even sure you can change it to the same as you. I think you might be able to. But yeah, I'm sure you can, because otherwise, yeah, the person who founded the Squadron, I can't remember, I'd say he's rank 1. He can make anybody else rank 1 as well. So if you are the sort of player who, you know, thinks rank and position and status within a group of people who are just playing a game is important, again, my Squadron is not gonna be for you. So I say, basically, my Squadron is for people who just don't give a fuck, don't take the game seriously at all, and just, you know, play it whenever, not that, you know, ardent a fan, just play it every now and then. Well, you could play it every fucking day if you want, but you're not likely to find us taking part in any sort of, you know, role-playing events where suddenly we're going to go out and attack another wing just for the fucking hell of it. In fact, if you are the sort of person who wants to do that, then yeah, my group will definitely not be the one for you. If I find out that someone in the Squadron is doing PvP and going around basically being a griefing cunt, then of course they'll be kicked out straight away. But yeah, I mean, that's Squadrons. It's basically a very large, I think the limit is 500 players per Squadron. It's basically a very large permanent wing. But I don't think you get things like, you know, shared bounties in kills, or, you know, shared dividends in trades, or shared exploration data. You do actually still have to wing up again to get those, as far as I'm aware. Don't quote me on that, I don't really know. They did mention a reasonable amount about Squadrons in the live stream, and I skipped past pretty much all of it. So yeah, well, that's Squadrons anyway, and it's also mining. So this is Beta 2. It's not as annoying as Beta 1. All of the features from Beta 1 are in this, so what I would suggest is that if you are the sort of player who doesn't usually bother with betas, I don't know if he's going to be watching this or not, but Commander Andy Pitkin, who I've known through the game for a little while now, I know he doesn't usually bother with betas, and Commander Life School Amigo, he doesn't usually bother with betas, and normally I'd say, well, you're not missing out on that much, but in this instance, with these changes to mining and the changes to exploration, I would say give the beta a try, because these changes are considerable and you want to give yourself as much of a chance to sort of get used to them as you can. Otherwise, when the game goes live, you could find yourself a bit lost to begin with. I certainly recommend that when this game goes live, whether you've had practice or not, the first few hours play it in solo or in a private group, because there are going to be griefers all over the place who will be taking advantage of people who are still trying to learn all the new features and may not be concentrating on the other ships in the area, and they'll come along to blow you up just to be a cunt. And you know, we already know there are plenty of cunts who play this as it is. So yeah, so when 3.3 goes live, your first few sessions stick to a private group or solo. Don't play it in open. Wait until you've got, say, some practice, and you've got more used to certainly the new search feature, the new system scan. That's what I was meant to say. I knew what I meant, even if no one else on the face of the earth did. Right, that is that for this one then. There will be a third video for Beta 3 when that comes along. Although, as far as I'm aware, the only really new features in that one will be the two new ships, the Krite Phantom and the Mamba, which I think is quite funny, but I'll cover that when the time comes. So anyway, that is this video done, so now go away.